Yeah, we are getting into our second best of 5 of the night. We have team Single-Horny Ponies versus team 6 foot 6,400.
That's still what this is. This is a team that I wanted to see them play against each other, not really because of their players, but because of their team names. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like,
yeah, it's they're quite a thing. I remember when they made the team name, they were like, "Are Wikipedia gonna let us like make these team templates on Wikipedia?" We're like, "Nah, yeah, it's fine." It's like, okay, cool.
It's a community page. It's all good.
So yeah, it's actually on main space. It's
Well,
on main space.
Right, because specials in it.
But yeah, we do have a pretty strong team here, and we're finally gonna get to see some of these other maps.
That we will. That in fact we will. We are gonna get the blast from the past, starting with one of the most famous or one of the most popular maps during its time in the map pool. We got a TBT coming up for you over on Prion Terraces.
God, I haven't seen this in so long. It's crazy.
And you know how you don't know what you got till it's gone?
Are you gonna apply that to this? Are you? Or are you just
not
saying
really?
That?
Not really. That's probably a reason why I didn't like it. But then again, I was silver at the time, so. But speaking of silver, here we have it in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of the map. We are here in Prion Terraces, not LE, for our first map of this best of 5 clan war. It is spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of the map. In the bottom right-hand corner, he normally plays for Icy, but now he is on a new team. It is the Teal Terran playing for 6'4", 6,400. It's Wild Game.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Prion Terraces, not Ellie, we have the American Terran representing team, as I quickly check, Single-Horny Ponies. He is Dolan.
So, you know, the good thing about not being the Observer Light is that I get to look at the map.
Yeah, I want to look at the map, and immediately I see something kind of odd about the natural bases.
Okay, that's why I missed this map, but also hated it at the time, but also miss it.
Oh my god.
This is... Whoever made this made it with Kuro in mind.
This week, do all the maps just have gold bases?
Considering it's 2016, probably. Prion Terraces has so many gold bases, not just the natural base, but if you look at the third base, the vertical third base, that's another gold.
Oh my god.
You go to the next base on that, that's another gold.
Oh my god.
It's...
So, theoretically, you could expand your naturals to gold. You could take your third's a gold. You could take your fourth's a gold.
You absolutely could, and...
My god, how did Jadon not win more tournaments?
Well, he retired before this map.
I don't think that's true. I think he was still competing. When did this map?
I think he officially retired, I believe, in 2016 or 2017, but he kind of stopped competing a little bit before Legacy of the Void.
Yeah. His last.
It was mostly
games,
because
his last games in StarCraft 2 were, what was it? I think it was the first season of StarCraft Clan Wars, I think, which I think was in 2016 or 2015. I can't remember. Yeah. It's been a while.
And we all know the reason why. It's because when it comes to StarCraft 2, Jadon was only in it for the travel, and once the region lock hit, he thought, well.
I think he left before the region lock happened, but sure. But yeah, this map is something to say the least. We do have Wild
That
Game.
it is very long rush distance.
Yeah, and Wild Game,
Which
he
does
already
not
has
bode well for this Chinese build.
He already has his CC set up. Meanwhile, Dolan, he's being a little bit more conservative with this 1-1-1 opener.
It's say it with me, Light. Which build is this?
Are you coming out from who?
It is from Dolan.
It's not 2-base
It's a
muter.
Chinese build.
Yeah.
Yeah. A very textbook Chinese build here. We will see what the follow-up from Dolan, whether it's going to be Ravens or whether it's going to be Banshees.
Yeah, and it had a pretty rough opener as he lost all of his Reapers across the map to those Hellions just a couple of seconds ago. So already a pretty good opener from Wild Game. He was able to clear them up.
Oh, the Hellions are coming in! And they chase Dolan all the way back near the center map. Meanwhile, Wild Game going for a fairly aggressive build here. We need to check on an armory timing. Okay, there is no armory from Wild Game.
Yeah,
so it's not going to be a Hellbent Marauder.
I mean, it looks like at least Dolan will have to give up his natural base. Like, there are so many Hellions here. All but he decides...
No, there are Cyclones.
There is a single Cyclone, and Hellions don't deal that much damage to buildings, so, you know, he's just forcing all the SCVs up into the main base.
Lift.
Ooh,
lift,
nice.
lift. Wild Game, lift. Wild Game, lift. Wild Game.
I do love that. I do love that he does have 2 Marauders here with this push as well. So Wild Game, this is looking pretty good, and he loses the medevac, but yeah, that's kind of the end of the push once that goes down.
Oh, supply depot might burn down, so gotta
he
wanna go with
the so many of his Marines there.
Yeah, now we see the real power behind this sort of move out. You know, Marauders meant to take out buildings. Hellions, your opponent's most likely going to have just Marines at this point. Hellions do shred through Marines, as we've just seen.
Yeah. And, you know, things kind of calm down a little bit. They're able to take their natural bases, their gold bases even. Meanwhile, once again, Wild Game, he's on top of expanding. He's already got his 3rd CC halfway done. Meanwhile, Dolan only just starting it.
Going with some Raven Harass on top of that. And this is actually a pretty good map for it. That's a lot of dead air I see.
Yeah. So, you know, it does get a couple of kills. Oh, 3 kills actually.
Indeed he does. Yeah. Raven Harass is no longer shit.
So yeah, some nice
these days.
Nice harassment damage done. I'm a little bit worried for Wild Game as we do have Dolan committing a little bit more to those Ravens. And Ravens, like, I feel like there are certain Terran players who, like, really value them. There are others that, like, not so much. I feel like there's a lot of potential with them, regardless.
Oh, that there definitely is. I feel like Ravens nowadays are pretty situational, but in those situations where they work, they really work. They take... Yeah. They turn a game from they turn a fight from a 50-50 chance of winning to a 100% chance of winning.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Wild Game going a little bit Alpha Star here. His natural is so oversaturated. Then we have the Maynard as he takes, there it is, the 3rd gold base. Oh boy.
I'm watching his 4th base. I got my eye on it now. Dolan not being too mad with greed. He learned something from Lord of the Rings. So he's going for the more defensible base rather than the more profitable one. But 3 Ravens out for Dolan as he looks to push out. At this point, I think I actually kind of favor Wild Game's army. He has the Viking count, but it does matter on who reacts first. Yeah, the Ravens are starting to go in. Where are the Vikings? Wild Game. Where are they? All the way in the back. The entire ground army of Dolan or of Wild Game being taken out. Now Wild Game trying to drop a couple of turrets, but it's not really helping things. That was just such a good pounce by Dolan.
As that push out was happening, I was looking at Wild Game's army and his tanks were just looking very exposed. Like all of his air army was lagging behind at the natural, so they weren't even a part of the fight. All of his tanks got picked off, and now he just has 4 Vikings and a single Raven here being pushed back.
Sad days.
Yeah, if they were together, like it would have looked really good for Wild Game. Those Vikings should have been able to zone out the Ravens, and with the tank count that he had, like he should have been fine. But just a little bit A little bit out
I
of
think
position.
it was a case. Yeah, I think it was a case of just not grouping the units.
Mm-hmm.
Just forgot to group them, so he went across the map and I thought, oh no.
Yeah.
This is why all army is not completely useless.
Yeah,
In fact, I think all army is actually pretty useful.
There are definitely
So I don't
situations.
disable it.
There are definitely situations where you can use it, and obviously, like, you know, players like Mario and Innovation, they use it as well, depending on the situation that calls. I am a little bit worried for Dolan though. I feel like he probably should have taken that gold base as his third. I question whether he knew about it at the time. I don't know how much practice they have on these maps.
That's always a possibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the thing about the gold base is it's a bit of a risk reward. Goodbye, Cuddle Bear. Thank you for refereeing, but we'll take over now. But it's a little bit of risk reward because the gold base is not very defensible. I kind of feel like for Terran, it's a little easier to defend with siege tanks, but yeah, I think Dolan just does not know about Wild Game's base, because if he did, he could pounce on it.
Yeah. And immediately Dolan, he throws down his fourth.
Sensor tower.
Yeah, and it gets scanned immediately. They have really good sensor tower positionings, by the way. Both of them have a nice spread, a nice coverage of all their bases. But again, as the game progresses,
not quite a Venn diagram yet, but
not quite yet. But Wild Game, he does have that advantage of that gold third base going for him as we do start getting fourth bases set up. So I do give him a little bit of an advantage. In saying that though, like, minerals don't matter as much in TVT. It is more about the gas heavy units.
Yeah, the units that you're spending no gas on both cost 50 minerals each, so
yeah.
Alright, now we see another engagement here. Dolan has the massive tank count, but Wild Game has the massive Raven count. Will it matter in the end? You do see that Terran armies need to synergize.
Ooh, a drop in the fourth though.
Convinced that Wild Game can.
Yeah.
Drop in the fourth. Is that a kill or is that a cancel? That was a cancel.
Yeah. He canceled the fourth base, which was almost done actually. So that was actually really huge, putting Dolan on the back foot there when it comes to his economy. And we'll see if this other drop heading towards the main base of Dolan is able to do anything.
Now our two Terran players are doing what Milk always tells me to do, but in the heat of the moment, I always forget to do it. When there's a stalemate, go for drops.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you want to go for, as the drop does land in the main of Dolan.
Dolan does not know about this army.
Oh, God.
So much bio going to be taken out there, but Wild Game cannot really get too much more ground. But that doesn't really matter, because this drop is doing so much work. That's actually Dolan's reinforcements, never mind.
Yeah, it did get cleaned up. He didn't go for the mineral line, instead went for add-ons, so didn't really deal much economic damage there at all. As there is actually another drop in the natural of Dolan as the siege lines are set up.
Indeed it is. The Ravens are so vulnerable here. A lot of turrets being thrown down, and it could actually take out the tanks. And once that happens, what is Wild Game gonna stalemate his opponent on? There aren't a lot of anti-air here, though, if you want to go for some bombardments, but now he realizes the reinforcements are coming in. So he is just gonna go for a double drop in the main.
Oh,
Wild Game's just gonna retreat back on home. Nice little seashore, but it will be cleared out fairly quickly, but not before Dolan loses 8 Marines.
Yeah, and again, like,
not Marines, SCVs.
Some solid defense here by Dolan, but because of that economic advantage, Wild Game, he can kind of afford to do that. Like, he's threw away a lot of units for maybe not much. Maybe he wasn't as efficient, but he has the fourth.
This is the MMA Terran, if I've ever seen one. So many drops. They're happening everywhere and anywhere.
Yeah.
Dolan, he knows that he needs to use his entire army to clear out each drop. Well, he doesn't really have to, but that's what he wants to do.
Oh my God, another drop in the main base of Dolan.
It's just being picked apart.
Dolan, he's had enough, I think. I think he's just pushing in. I think he's like...
Indeed he is. But will it work out? We do see the Sky Terran of Wild Game is pretty damn good. Now with some Liberators, good positioning on the tanks and the Libs. They cannot quite get sniped here. Meanwhile, the tanks will be able to clear out the Marines, but Dolan has more than enough here. I think this might... Wild Game might be in trouble, but 2 more tanks will come out. But he's lost his Sky Terran.
He needs to C-drop. The tanks are going to get picked off. He saves 1 with the medevac, but he did lose 1 for free there. And Dolan, this push, it's terrifying right now. Like, there's so many tanks.
Very much is. You know, that's the dynamic in TVT. When one player has a tank advantage and the other player has the air advantage, you really, really don't want to lose that air advantage.
Oh, Wild Game has to be so careful here. And as this push is happening, he dropped at the 4th base of Dolan and he's delaying it even more. So Dolan, he's kind of on a timer where Wild Game, sure, Dolan, he killed a lot of army, but Wild Game, he's just been mining this entire time on 4 bases.
That he has. Dolan does have a bank, but that bank will more than likely run out. The mining is actually in Dolan's favor at the moment, funnily enough.
Oh.
But that's probably mules.
Yeah, and that also goes to show that these gold bases, they do mine out fairly quickly.
That indeed they do, so you get a lot of oversaturation problems. Not quite sieging up the tanks yet, nor the Liberators. The Marines come in a beautiful concave, and they manage to snipe the Libs. And now it's a little bit of a back and forth, quite a lot of a stalemate. This is the no man's land,
wow.
But Dolan does get that planetary, and Wild Game, he is now, from a huge income advantage, that is evaporated.
Yeah, and it matters so much because his natural and his 3rd base are almost mined out. Like those gold mineral patches, they don't have
Dolan's pouncing on top of these tanks, but he's not really taking them too seriously. Both players gonna be losing a bio, but Dolan has just enough here, and the massive tank count.
I think he's done
it. The end here.
Yeah, he's breaking him. He's trading so efficiently, and he's saved so many of his tanks. And now he should be confident enough to just push forward.
This many tanks, and your opponent doesn't have that many Marines. You don't even need to siege. My Ravens and Vikings in the first push. GG. Dolan is going to be taking game number 1 for Single-Horny Ponies, tying it, bringing them up to match point.
2-0. Right? Viper.
Yeah, bring them up to match point 2-0. Yep.
Yeah. All right, yeah. But yeah, Wild Game, he acknowledged it himself, where I guess he had mishotkeeyed his army and he left his Vikings and Ravens at home, because that was such a big loss. Like, he lost all of his tanks in that first initial push, and that can set you so far behind as well. Like, at the end of the day, TVT can come down to like just tank counts, really.
Yeah, TVT is a very snowball type of matchup, but the thing is, while it can snowball, that snowball can also evaporate mid-air. So it's weird how the dynamic of TVT plays out, but if you're a player like Dolan, who is taking precaution and does have the good decision-making, you're not going to be losing... No, you're going to be taking your opponent's lead. Look, wait!
Yeah, I mean...
Wild Game had the lead. Dolan had Wild Game, he had a snowball, right? And he threw the snowball. Dolan had a hairdryer, and he just aimed it. There we go. That's the metaphor.
That's exactly how it happened. And like, even though Wild Game, he had a really rocky start losing all those tanks, like he almost brought it back. He was doing really, really nice damage with his drops.
Yeah, his transition to Sky Terran was actually really well timed. Just one thing was positioning the tanks, and the other thing was just, mishockeying those units.
Yeah, and then even though like his drops were doing really well, like he was keeping Dolan contained and he was killing all these workers, at the end, like it did kind of come down to that big push where Dolan did have that tank advantage. And yeah, like Wild Game, he was transitioning really nicely. Like he had Liberators during that last push as well, but he just didn't have the tanks. He didn't have the Raven count either, I believe. Like all those auto turrets going down and just wiping out the ground army was huge for Dolan.
Indeed it was. And speaking of huge, like 2v2 maps.
Yeah, I hope you're ready for more gold bases.
I hope you're ready for another NA Contender top 4 semi-finalist.
Yeah.
And speaking of NA Contender, here we have it over in the left side of the map, spawning in the left side of the map. It is going to be the green Zerg as well as the pink Terran, respectively. Both of them from America, I'm gonna guess.
Yes.
One of them from our Risen Gosu, which is not to be confused with Roaches and Guns. No, Risen from the Gosu, as well as the Gosu crew. Oh my, why?
What? Born Gosu, huh?
Team Gosu crew as well has risen from the Gosu. They are going to be our players, Lyra, as well as Prototype, that make up 6'4", 6,400.
And in the bottom right-hand corner, but also sneakily in the top left, proxying, we have the American Terran, normally representing Icebound Esports. It is Disrespect, not a doctor, and his teammate representing Alpha X. It is Melody, both players for team Single-Horny Ponies. Oh my god,
he's
it's a
living
4
up to his name, Light. He is living up to his name right now. Where are the Overlord scouting? Where's the Overlord scouting? Prototype. You're not in the right area.
Yeah,
Everyone's not going to the right area.
It's so difficult. It's so difficult because Prototype is it's like the furthest away like player from that proxy location. So it takes even longer for that Overlord to scout. Like if he had spawned where Lyra was, or Lira, then maybe he would have been able to scout it with an Overlord. But
Overlord is not even going to see the Marines.
No, not at all. He's not going to see anything.
That was the saving grace. I was thinking that Prototype, you know, he might keep his Overlord somewhere there. And he might swat the Marines and quickly react, but no, they're only gonna find out about this once Lyra moves the Reaper into there.
Yeah, and the Reaper should maybe with it.
Come on, Lyra! Lyra!
No.
Lyra! Lyra! The Reaper! Lyra!
Please. I'm honestly surprised with this build, with this Mass Marine. Do you think Disrespect should have Gangnam'd his main base?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so too.
Although I think you should always do that. Well, then again, well, it's hard to tell on this map, right? Because you want your partner to have that base as well, but you also there's also a pocket base.
Yeah. I mean, you know, there are two pocket bases. But we'll see how this works out.
Yeah, Melody has started the protocol. We've been spotted. And Disrespect going straight on in. The SCVs providing a pretty nice buffer here. Meanwhile, the Lings could be trying to cut off reinforcements here from Lyra.
But Prototype, he's all on his own right now. Finally, we do have some Reapers and Hellions coming to support, but is it too late? He's done a good job keeping the Queens alive.
Indeed, he has. And now the Terran army is still here. The Zerglings of Melody not quite here to do what they wanted to do, and that is cut off the reinforcements. Lyra doing a fantastic job with these KD8 charges, but the Lings, they're still here and alive, even though the Marine count might not be.
Yeah, and all these Banglings being morphed as well for Prototype, but it may be too late as he's losing so many workers, and these Marines are focusing down the veins.
These Banglings do not get managed to pop right on top of that. This is looking pretty rough. The Banglings are just getting sniped, and Prototype looking to be in a lot of trouble. Gonna have to rely on Lyra's economy for quite some time. Yeah,
I mean, Prototype, he was mining from the gold base that entire time with a full mineral line, but now finally those gold base drones are going down as well. And Lita
can't. Link flood.
Yeah, Lita can't get over to help. Like, he has two Banelings, and if they're the best shots, then maybe he can hold. But it's
definitely quite an if. They're body blocked by the Queen right now. This Queen is gonna die for nothing, Light. For nothing.
And another Queen gets caught out.
So is the Baneling. This is looking rougher and rougher for our Ponies. I do not think they're gonna get that 3-0, Light.
Yeah, at the same time, we have the Marines containing Lita to Lita's base. He's trying to come out with a couple of Hellions, but it's just struggling so much.
It's actually a really good rally point for Disrespect. It's able to just stall the reinforcements of Lyra, so Melody can just mess up a base. And once there are enough Marines here, or once the base is taken care of, Melody goes around. Lyra, Disrespect will have a pretty decent Marine count.
Yeah, and now Prototype has nothing, absolutely nothing, no workers.
All right, setting up a... Yeah, trying to set up a concave, but I don't think Lyra's going to break anytime soon.
Yeah.
Droning up, and that is the right call. I think they know that the all-in is over, that Prototype is just about dead. In fact, if Prototype isn't careful, he could be just ejected from this game.
Yeah, I mean, Prototype, he's
gonna be a 2v1, Light.
Yeah, I mean, he's hanging on because, you know, once if things get cleared up, then Lita can give him money to make workers from his eggs, but it looks like all the buildings are going down.
Still alive. Larva's still alive. Larva's still alive.
I mean, Lyra. It wouldn't be worth it, right? The Lings would just kill it, and
yeah, you gotta wait for the Lings to evacuate.
Yeah.
Like so. All right, now on to the next plan. All right, the larva is still alive. Right, larva is still alive.
It is still alive.
Light, the creep is clearing. Light, the creep is clearing. Light.
Prototype.
The larva is still alive.
Lita, just give it 50 minerals. God, no. And
the larva. There's one larva still alive. Light,
what?
There's a...
What? Is there? No, it's all gone.
It's dead.
It's all gone.
This is gonna be a 2v1 prototype. Just gonna go make a sandwich, I guess.
So, it's hard to say. Lita is in an okay position just because Disrespect has been on one base this entire time. All of his production is lifted up and moving across the map. So there isn't too much to worry about him. It's just the Zerg player. Melody is on 3 hatcheries, is droned up, has all of these like Lings as well. It's gonna be a tough ask for Lita.
That it will. I don't think anyone expects Lyra to win the 2v1 now, but we shall see.
Yeah,
Stranger things have happened.
You know, he's staying. Yeah, like Lyra's staying in the game. You know, he could do a push out, could trade efficiently with all these Lings as well, and try and make something happen.
I think it was mentioned in the GSL last night. An unwinnable game is almost always unwinnable, but an unlosable game is never always unlosable.
It's true. It's true. Like, you know, something could happen. Like, I don't want to say a throw, but like they could be caught off guard. Again, Disrespect is like not
a mistake
in a very...
that Lyra can take advantage of.
Exactly. I do feel like crippling Disrespect is probably the best bet for Lyra to just keep it a 1v1. I don't think Lyra can do too much to the Zerg, but we'll see as a drop. Yeah, drop is coming across the map.
Except maybe double drops, like double multi-prong drops might be able to, but you know.
I find it interesting that these two players aren't in voice, and Melody is forced to type.
Well, maybe Melody is the only one that is not in voice.
Yeah. Maybe Melody doesn't have a mic. True.
Yeah. Prototype no longer has any forces, just yeet it out. And yeah, Lyra. A very tough ask in front of him.
Yeah. Melody is actually taking the pocket gold as well. Jesus Christ.
Yes, why not?
Here we have a pretty strong tank push coming in from Lyra. At the same time, there is a drop waiting outside Disrespect's main base. We'll see if that ends up. There it is.
This is pretty good. Yeah, found the angle. And could try to snipe some of these upgrades here. Meanwhile, this is a pretty good force out here for Lyra. The positioning is there. Will definitely have to be careful of both the Lings and the Marines and the Banelings, but now here comes the Hellions, the tanks. The Marines cannot fight these tanks. Lyra holds on.
And because of that,
shattering this economy of
Lyra
Melody.
Could kill this base for Melody. There are these Marines here unhindered. Oh, a couple of Lings do spawn out, but again, these Marines
positioning is great.
Yeah, it looks like they will be maybe cleaned up. No.
Amirs are coming out. Amirs are popping out. Light mutas are popping out. That is not what you want to see when you're the drop player.
Not indeed, but so far some decent damage done by Lyra. You know, it held the main push at the front and dealt all this economic damage. Meanwhile, there is a double drop once again headed towards the main base of Disrespect.
Once again, probably the right call. You do want to try to cripple Disrespect first and then focus on Melody. The Mutalists haven't spotted. And Lyra, you know, Mutalists, they're pretty good. And they're definitely a very fun unit to use and one of the best harassment units, but...
drop is in the main base of Disrespect. Doesn't find much.
In fact, it is.
Yeah.
Will get a lot of SCVs, though. Loses drop, but gets quite a couple of SCVs there.
Yeah, unfortunately, the full medevac did get picked off. It was the one with only one unit that got away. And again, this tank push is pretty good, but there's just so much Lingbane Muta here. It's going to be all about the angling and positioning.
But there are also quite a number of tanks where what is the position going to be looking like? The Banelings roll into their deaths. But are there enough Marines? Are there enough Mutalisks? It's looking like it might. This is still a very threatening Mutalisk count. Lyra cannot quite push into that. But they've just traded so efficiently.
It's such a shame because Lyra traded so well against 2 armies. It just kind of comes down to
how many armies still coming out?
Yeah, and Lyra is just one player, so it's so difficult to.
But it's still a lot of army for Lyra, though.
Yeah,
this is look at the worker count for Disrespect right now. Like, tell me that Lyra hasn't been putting in the results.
Yeah,
hasn't been getting efficient results.
100%. But these Mutalisks, they do need to be careful. They might get caught out by these Marines. Oh, they do back off though, and at the same time, Lyra is looking to push towards that outer base of Melody. Could get a number of worker kills once again.
This is MMA. This is MMA.
Literally,
this is
MMA.
a playstyle that made MMA my favorite player. Yeah.
Yeah, and even though this drop is going to get cleaned up, like he traded efficiently.
Traded pretty well. It's never really good to lose all of the army supply in the drops, but honestly, when you're dropping multiple locations, sometimes you do have to give up on one of them.
Yeah, definitely, as we do have more drops being set up to go into the main of Disrespect. But Disrespect actually has a drop of his own. Oh, it looks like it will be coming home though. There are no turrets. There's not that much here actually.
No, there is not. Here comes a concave of Marines, but now the Mutalisk count helps. I think at this point, Lyra's best bet is just trade as well as they can. Takes out so many Marines. And again, Disrespect just lost so much here. Melody is still the threatening player here, though.
Lyra is actually going to be able to take this base out.
73 Marines from Disrespect.
Lyra is pushing into the 4th base of Melody and should be able to finally clean this out. At the same time, there was a drop in the main base of Lyra, but Lyra defended it and pushed the drop away.
Is Prototype still in this game but playing as an Archon? This is not a 2v1.
100%. He can do that. You can share the control of armies. So
this is why I wish we could get. It could be. This is why I wish we could have an interview, post-game interview.
Yeah.
All right, taking out a Thor. That is absolutely huge for Disrespect. The Thor is pretty much what Melody will have to worry about when it comes to Mutas, but Lyra is transitioning into Widow Mines. I don't know. I think I still, in this particular circumstance, I think you cannot give up on tanks because obviously it's not the best against Mutiling Bane, but you still have to worry about the Terran army. But there are still a couple of tanks, I guess.
Yeah, and with that realization, I actually really love this. The fact that I'm pretty sure Prototype is helping control the army. Obviously, Prototype can't spend any minerals. That's not how it works. But he can control units. So it's cool that they're still like working together as best they can.
You know what? We did not see a Prototype has left the game.
Exactly. Yeah.
Taking out this tank, that is actually huge. If you're Lyra right now, you want to be conserving as many tanks as you can and just focus on producing mines. But Melody is making sure that cannot quite happen. Loses another tank! No!
And I feel like this is...
tanks and Thors cannot quite slip through these gaps.
This is the big problem. This is the big problem for Lyra, or for this team, I should say, is that the Mutas count has gotten high enough where they can dive in, they can snipe tanks and production buildings, and it just forces them to be more defensive when I'm sure Lyra wants to be more aggressive and wants to be out there dropping.
Oh yeah, it's a critical mass. It's a point where the Mutalisks have hit the critical mass. Melody doesn't care about losing more than 2 Mutalisks anymore.
Yeah.
It's replaceable, pretty much. Widow Mine? Hello? Widow Mine?
I mean, it's ambitious, you know. Oh, mine! What?
It burrowed, and it does not quite get that massive clump of Mutalisks, but there's also no detection here, Light.
Yeah, there's no detection, and it was able to kill one Mutalisk. Yeah, he was able to kill one Mutalisk, which is nice, and it looks like he'll be able to get another shot off, so we'll see how well.
Are a long way away. I don't think they have the speed.
Yeah, I mean, he could use Banelings to kill it after this first shot goes off, but we'll get another number of Lings as well, which is quite nice.
Lings. Oh, but it still goes off. Nicely done. Meanwhile, we have an engagement here over in the middle of the map, and this might be the 2 armies finally I think this one army of Lyra has started to run out of steam.
Yeah, at the same time, the drop gets cleared up at the 4th of Melody as well. And that's kind of it for Lyra, as does have a tank and a couple of Marines at home. But now with both armies working together here, it looks like Disrespect and Melody should finally be able to break these bases.
But it's not quite a contain yet. You can't really contain on 5 bases, but it's starting to get that way.
Yeah. I mean, again, Lyra is doing a decent job holding them back. We do have Thors on the way. We do have Liberators as well, but the supplies are just gonna... The differences in supplies are just gonna get larger and larger.
Factory. Can get the Thor out. You cannot get the Thor out in time. That factory does, in fact, go down. And now it's pretty much... It's getting to do or die time.
Yeah, pretty much.
That wasn't before, but now it's that times 2.
Yeah, it did kind of come down to the fact that Lyra did lose that big engagement previously, where was basically the tank and Thor count was reset. So now their scans going down. I mean, Lyra's doing a pretty good job denying bases, but Melody's just expanding everywhere. Jesus Christ.
That they are, and here comes what could be the final engagement of this game. A lot of Marines, a lot of tanks. The Mutalisk doing a fantastic job of zoning, and the Bio Ball will be able to clear things up. This is not going to be the end just yet. Disrespect playing it cautious, looking to see if there's a place to Doom drop, I guess. That is what's going on, and yep, This looks like the Single-Horny Ponies will not be getting that 3-0, but man, oh man, if they did not make magic happen.
Yeah, it's such a shame, because imagine if that early pressure didn't deal as much damage as it did, and Prototype was still in this with an army.
GG, what a 2v2.
Yeah.
There are so few, not even 1v1s, but definitely even more when it comes to 2v2s. They're just Single-Horny Ponies gets the 3-0. My mistake. Man, there are so few games in 1v1, let alone 2v2, where you have the players just claw back from the jaws of defeat like that. And man, if I didn't believe that Team 6'4", 6400 could pull off the 2-1, I guess it wasn't really 2-1, but yeah, no.
Yeah, again, imagine if Prototype had kept a drone alive or something along those lines, then we could have seen a completely different game, because Lyra was doing so well on his own that with the help of another actual mining army and stuff, things could have completely changed. So yeah, GG. I was just really impressed, to be honest.
I was, man. I also just really like mass drop style. So yeah, Single-Horny Ponies will get a 3-0, but we are going to be looking at the other maps in this this best of 5 clan war, as we do need to worry about seeding here.
Yeah, all matches will be played out despite the score, so congratulations Single-Horny Ponies for winning this, but we'll see if 6 foot 4 inches can take a couple of maps.
Or if they're too tall. We are going into, for the first time tonight, Core Hall Carnage Knockout. One of the maps that I was looking forward to watching, because I actually don't have a lot of experience on this map. It's going to be another TBC.
Yeah, I need to get into this to actually look at it. I can't remember what kind of map this was.
I remember it was kind of like that 3 map. Oh yeah, there are so many spawning locations on this map.
Oh Jesus Christ! Were you talking about Catalina, the 3-player map?
Merry-go-round, I was thinking.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Catalina also applies. But speaking of Catalina, here we have it then over coming in here in the bottom. Kind of like the
just the bottom.
Pretty much the bottom. Kind of like the it's pretty much like 2 minutes after 6. In that location, here we have it. In that location, it is gonna be the Teal Terran, all the way from America, playing for, or representing Alpha X, but playing for, excuse me, the Single-Horny Ponies, trying to get that 5-0. It is the captain, I believe, of the Single-Horny Ponies.
Yes.
Cuddle Bear.
And spawning in the right-hand side of the map, I guess the 3 o'clock position, we have the American Zerg player playing for Team Alpha X, but here instead playing for Team 6 foot 4 inches 6400. It is Hijinks.
There's rain on this map.
There's rain on this map. It's a 4-player spawn map, kind of.
It's not a 4-player spawn map. It's actually 8-player spawn map.
Yeah, but if I remember, it's different. Like, even though there's 8 spawns, if you spawn in a certain area, then it removes the closest spawn, so it's in one of the other 3 areas. It's one of those where, yeah, I think there are certain rules about where you spawn, where your opponent can spawn. It's a little bit confusing.
Nodding my head, man. I remember. Respect. Actually, I remember playing a free-for-all in this map.
Yeah, we did. We played it. I think we were both playing in it, actually.
Yeah.
I remember playing with Crank.
It was the whole base. Right in the middle.
Yep.
Right down the middle. Now, Core Hall Carnage Knockout, it's actually a bit more recent compared to these other maps. It's still 2016, but it was... I don't think it was the final map pool of 2016, but... I think it was the first map pool of 2017.
Oh man, I don't even, man. I don't even.
I don't even.
I think it was in 2017 actually, because I do remember laddering on this early on. I want to say this could have been the first map pool of Legacy of the Void.
Maybe. Yeah. No, it's possible because in 2017 they had a all-star map pool. Speaking of all-stars,
yeah.
This is a lot of legs coming up from Hijinks. Both players do know where each other has spawned, and Cuddle Bear, he's also prepared. He knows the main bus is coming.
Yeah, he just scanned the main base. He saw the opener, knows a main bus is on the way. He does have a bunker set up. No tank, though. It is only halfway complete. Will he be able to hold long enough for the tank to come out?
Where's the target firing? The target firing is not quite there, but thankfully the backup wall was...
Nice. Yeah, nice SimCity there. Was able to set up the secondary wall just in time. The tank is out, and Cuddle Bear holds.
And that's about the end of that. Hijinks now going into droning, making sure that they can, in fact, transition.
Oh my god, I miss maps like this because, like, the rush distance is so long. Cuddle Bear holds, but he can't immediately push out because the rush distance is so long. So, and because the map is so big, like, I think it's pretty safe to expand and defend, like, at least 3 bases. So we could just transition into a longer macro game.
That's the idea, is from what I've been told. It's also a little bit odd on this map because 3 bases is all you're gonna get to before you have to start clearing up these debris.
Yeah.
Put up for a 4th base. So I think I vaguely remember the old wisdom was games of this map should end quick.
Mm-hmm. Unless you want to take the center gold as your 4th. It's definitely possible.
Why not? And I think Cuddle Bear might want to because he's starting to clear up these, what's it called, terrain that falls.
Yeah, the towers. Again, we talked about it last week. We haven't seen these in so long. Destructible rocks that fall down and create barriers. Like, oh my god, I miss them, to be honest.
Yeah, I miss being able to manipulate the map like that.
Yeah, and stuff like this. Like, if he had known about the Roach Bane all in sooner, then maybe he could have tried to focus down these towers and basically...
I don't think that would be enough DPS at that stage of the game.
True. There would have only been like 4 Marines. But yeah, you know, there are options, to say the least, as I think these 2 Hellions now are stuck on the other side of the map.
They are.
Yeah, rip.
unless they destroy their way out. Meanwhile, we do see the very standard Hellion Banshee play coming out from Cuddle Bear. There was already a Spore, but Banshees, they can take a couple of hits. Well, not from Spores, but Queens they can.
Oh, these Hellions are actually going to get a couple of drone kills because there isn't too much here on the ground.
It's in line, light. It's in a line, light. It's starting to line up, light.
Oh my god.
It's in a line, light.
Wow.
12 drones have gone down, and the number keeps stacking up. 14. Is that too much damage, light?
It's hard to say. It's such a shame because Hijinks made all these Lings and is looking to run across the map, but the towers are down. Like, the Lings aren't going to do anything. Now they finally spot the destructible terrain, and he can't deal any like counteractive damage.
And you know what, Light? I kind of wish that I laddered when this map was in the map pool, because this is a great scenario for the Terran player. Army goes up, army goes down, army goes up, army goes down.
Yeah, tower goes down.
Tower goes down. I don't understand why, why they had to break the wall. They could just go up and down.
Yeah, exactly.
Just go over it.
That does remind me that
Hijinks is free to expand themselves.
Exactly. Yeah, it means that Hijinks can't deal any damage, but does expand instead. Now that obviously the meta has changed over the years, we could actually see something like Nidus Worms come into play on a map like this. Just because, because this map is very like Golden Wall-esque in a way.
That, in fact, it is. There are a couple of... I like that exclamation mark for what's it called? For surprise. But, yeah, now Hijinks we do see trying to get an opening here, but the tanks should be able to scare these Zerglings off.
Yeah,
there's no vision. A lot of health on this debris.
There's no vision. This drop in the main base of Hijinks just comes in, and all these Marines are going to kill the Queen.
And the army?
Oh my god, there is no army.
Look at the army supply light. I think Cuddle Bear.
That's it.
GG. With the experience of this map, gonna be able to take it 4-0. Single-Horny Ponies, they're trying to go for the perfect record today, man.
Yeah, that's something that we haven't had yet at all. So we could see it happen.
Just goes to show you just how much familiarity and experience when it comes to maps like this
I just
make a difference.
I just want to see more of that map. Like it's so there's just so much to it. There's so much happening. Like, there are the rocks next to the main bases. There's the destructible towers. There's just the size of the map and the different spawn locations. Like, there's just so much potential there. At the same time, there's also a good amount of RNG, I guess. And you know, there are definitely people that didn't like that and didn't like that aspect, but it's fun. It's fun to see these. It's definitely fun to see these maps again.
I mean, you know, it's one map. In if the map pool is full of maps like this, then I would tend to agree. But you know, if it's just one map in out of 7, I don't see why we shouldn't have one of them. But this actually, you know, I don't know what map he's playing on today, but I'm actually kind of worried for Justice Simon now.
Yeah, he's not gonna know anything. What is happening? What gold bases for the natural?
It's like, man. It's like kids these days, they have it so easy. They don't know about destructible terrain or like towers that you can bring down with gold bases. It's like, man, why? Or multiple spawns. That's definitely something to worry about. But we're going to go into our final map of this particular match. It is going to be a ZVP, which we've not had today. We've had a ZP versus ZP. But that's not very conventional. I'm thinking we're going to have something a bit more standard here as we go on to what is perhaps my favorite map in StarCraft 2.
We will, as we load in to the game 5 of this best of 5. And this is actually the first time we're casting this today. This map.
Yeah, and I'm actually very glad. In the bottom right-hand corner of the map, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, it is going to be our yellows, all the way from, I want to say America, but potentially Canada. playing for the, or rather representing Risen from the Gosu. He is going to be trying to get the 5-0. Will it happen here? Playing for the Single-Horny Ponies, it is Scrubbles.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Dusk Towers, not Ellie, we have the Protoss player representing Risen from the Gosu, as well as America. He is currently representing 6 foot 4 inches, 6,400. It is Patty Mac.
Now, what was the command? Exclamation mark adventure in chat. Exclamation mark something.
Oh my god, I love this map. There's so much happened on this map. This was the TY map. This was the TY map.
It was the TY map.
Do you remember it? Do you like the highlight videos were made of his series? Oh my god. This was
TY versus Zest, was it? Or
I think so. I think it was a Pro League match.
No, this was 2017. No, this was 2016 and 17 actually.
Yeah, and
so it's that good it carried over.
It was no. It was a TVZ. I remember it was a TVZ. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong though. So many games were played on this map. This was back in the Pro League days, I do recall. And I can't remember whether it was GSL or SSL, but TY was insane on this map with his drops. Like, I want to watch the video now. I'm excited. Oh my god.
If you just look at this is for the millennials who weren't around at the time. Pocket bases, a gold base that you can gang them to. It's the aesthetic is beautiful. Also a massive ramp here in the natural. Maybe that's the one thing I'm not too big a fan of, but honestly, you know, it's also there. It also gives some variety.
Yeah, I mean, you give and you take, right? Like, you have a pocket base, which means you get an easy natural, but the third base has such a large ramp, so it's more difficult to hold. You know, there are obviously. Yeah, and you can gang them to the gold as well. There's just so much to a map like this. There are also towers everywhere that you can break and then force to fall down as well. I do remember blink stalkers being used annoyingly, like going up the ramps and then like killing the rocks behind them so they're secure, so it's harder for like Zergs to defend. There was so much to this.
This is my overgrowth light. This map. I just want it to be in the map. I just want it to not be in every map pool for years, but every other map pool.
Yeah, like once a year, you know, like
all right, we're taking Dust Towers out. Next map pool, we're putting it back in.
Yeah. Let's bring back the dream pool, and then we can vote on this again. But
yes.
Anyway, enough about reminiscing about how this map used to be. We do have Patty Mac here, of course, going for Glaive Adepts. This is quite popular nowadays. He actually... Yeah.
I think it would actually work out pretty dang well on this map as well, because if you just look at the space between each base that Scrubbles has, it's quite a bit. And shades, they can shade pretty quickly.
They can shade pretty quickly, and we'll see if Scrubbles is able to defend against this, as he is going in with his Overlord. He does spot the Twilight Council researching with a Chrono Boost as well. He should know what is coming. He already has a Roach Warren made, so he should be able to make roaches in time, but we'll see if he's able to split up his army in between all his bases.
It's definitely the key consideration here. The Adepts are starting to come in. They are isolating this queen, but Glaive not quite done yet. Is this perhaps too early? And the other thing to worry about is, where is the Warp Prism? Where is the Robo facility even?
Yeah, this is old school. There's no Warp Prism, there's no Robo, it's just Glaive. There isn't even a proxy pylon to reinforce. Like, what? I mean,
does this? Yeah,
no, I've never seen this. This is so odd.
Only now getting the Robo facility, and I do have to wonder: was that intentional or was that a mistake? Now getting double Robo facility? Okay, maybe it's intentional then.
Do you think he got across the map with his adepts? And he's like, hold on.
How do I reinforce?
Yeah. Like, something's not right. I'm missing something.
On this map is quite large.
Yeah, it's a little bit odd, but regardless, he was able to get in there, deal a bunch of damage, and recall out. Now is pushing once again with even more adepts behind this. A third as well already done for Paddy Mac, and we'll see if he's able to get much done, as there isn't that much here for Scrubbles.
No, there is not. Shades do manage to get in. Will they complete? They in fact do. But there's not much here to really take advantage on. The roaches are definitely pressing the issue here. Could take out a queen and maybe a couple of drones, and as long, as long as the adepts are still alive, that would have been a worthwhile trade. But now the links are here. Again, the Sim City though, or the positioning for Paddy Mac, still looking pretty dang brilliant. But the time has come to shade away.
Yeah, some nicely done there. Didn't really kill too many workers, but was able to kill a couple of queens and trade well against the Lings. And more importantly, yeah, what he does is he keeps the Roach Ravager here at home defensively.
Well, not all of them. Paddy Mac now, though, should sense that there's going to be a move out coming on. Should know that this is a lot of roaches for defense. So as you do see shield batteries being thrown down. Shield batteries are not a thing back when this map was in the map pool.
I do like this. To be fair, though, because the ramp is so large, so many force fields have to be used to try and keep the army at bay. That's another thing to consider, as more and more Ravagers are being forced. More Roaches are coming to reinforce this army as well. But 3 shield batteries are going to finish up in time. Will this be enough for Paddy Mac to hold?
I think it should be Scrubbles. He's going to have to either commit to a contain, which we do see a lot of links being rallied, a lot of links light. And what is the force field energy looking like? Okay, still quite a bit.
I think he has enough for another line. I don't know, other than that. Oh, the army gets up the ramp.
That indeed it does. Gets a pretty good surround, but the shield batteries are holding strong. So many immortals here, light. And they are really raining the pain down on top of Scrubbles.
Like, the bios were good. All the sentries. Oh, never mind. He doesn't.
The target firing from Scrubbles just not quite enough. It's not quite there.
Yeah, that was.
You see a switch into mutas.
That was so close, and I feel like part of why Paddy Mac was able to hold is the rush distance is so long. All the energy ran out for all of these shield batteries, and he almost came down to just these 4 immortals defending, but he was able to hold on long enough. And Scrubbles is struggling to reinforce. Like, this army is getting kind of small.
Indeed, it is, and I think you just nailed it there. The rush is just way too large here for Scrubbles to really commit to an all-in or even a contain. Paddy Mac got so many units, anti-Zerg units out. Okay, doesn't quite have Archons or High Templar, but anti-Roach Ravager units, here they are.
Exactly, and Scrubbles, he identifies this, he pulls back and is taking his 4th base. And again, this 4th base is a little bit in like an abusable position, because there is this high ground right next to it that units can rain down upon on the mineral line. So we could see that come into play. It does kind of depend. Tanks would be tanks would be up there. Blink Stalkers
or a thing.
Because back then Tank were a thing as well.
Oh, we are just gushing.
and what would happen is the tanks would go up there, and the tanks would focus down the rocks, so then it covers them from behind, so Lynx can't go up and take them down. So you needed like queens or mutalisks to try and focus the tanks down. It was very different. It forced very different styles.
It was still good on this map. But yeah, here comes the a little bit more of a poke here from Scrubbles. He just wants to make sure that Paddy Mac can get the economy up and running, but is it a bit of an overextension?
A little bit.
The blink is done. There are a lot of potential force fields here, and Scrubbles is losing quite a lot.
Oh, the Mutalists tried to get into the main base at the same time, but Stalkers were warped in time, were able to push the Mutalists back, but the Mutalists are getting some nice damage done here at the 4th.
Yeah, not too bad. Quite a couple of probes there. Not quite going to be canceling the 4th, but what can you do? It's better to keep the Mutalists alive here.
Yeah. Again, the Mutalists dive in. They try and deal some damage. The Blinks, though. Nicely done by Patty Mac, was able to kill Mutalisk. Meanwhile, I like how he made hallucinated Colossus. God damn it.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I believe the Mutalisk might prioritize it.
Yeah, they could.
It's in the air. No, but then again, there are stalkers on the ground, so probably prioritize stalkers. But speaking of which, here comes another attempt at harass. Really, does actually take out the cannon, but not much other than that. Scrubbles is gonna regroup with the rest of his army.
The Warprism, no! It gets caught out!
Warprism gets, yeah, that it does. There are real Colossus out now, but that Warprism had an Immortal in it. That is pretty dang painful.
And again, these Mutalisks are here, and once they get pushed away from this third base, they can just go back into the pocket base, into the natural. So these Mutalisks are actually dealing a lot of damage.
The economy is in shambles right now.
Patty Mac's just pushing across the map.
Yeah, Patty Mac knows that what he needs to do. It is time for the base trade. Will it actually work in his favor, though? The bases are being traded. The Lings are in and just wreaking havoc. Who is going to tap out first? Who is going to tap out first, Light?
I mean, it looks like finally Patty Mac is able to kill the fourth bases and pushing into the third base. Scrubbles, though, is just killing everything. The fourth, the third go down. The main base is going down as well to the Mutalisks. Like, these Mutalisks, they're just so fast. They're just killing things so much quickly compared to Patty Mac. Patty Mac still hasn't even gone into the main.
That he has not. Here comes the recall from Patty Mac. Is it going to be enough? It will be enough to chase the Mutalisk away, and just look at the worker count now, Light.
I'm worried that may not have been the right call. Like, he recalls, he saves his bases, but will he be able to deal enough damage? He did leave the Immortals across the map.
Yeah, just banking on the Immortals.
Yeah, I mean, they will kill the main hatchery. Maybe he can kill the pocket hatchery? The Mutalisks are going to come back, though. Is it?
I think so. All the Lings and all of the Roaches are regrouping and going across the map.
Can he do it? Can he kill the base?
I think he will. I think he will. Good transfuse. But is there enough damage on these Mutalisks? There are!
Wow.
Clutch transfuses right at the end there. And Scrubbles behind that, going to be expanding.
Yeah, if that natural went down, if that pocket went down, then maybe I would say Patty Mac was in a good position. But Scrubbles was able to keep it alive and has expanded to the north.
Look at all these Salukes.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
Sometimes you just need to scare your opponent to not harass you. This is not one of those times. The Lings are going up a choke point. They are melting to the Colossus.
Oh, do you think the Lings are going to work? They do. They push the other way. Oh, what a big brain.
Nicely done.
What a big brain.
Yeah, I like it. I think he realized that force fields don't work on air units, so may as well use that energy as something else.
Oh, that was so smart, especially because it worked. It forced the army back out, and more Mutalisks were able to be shaved off by the stalkers, by the real stalkers of Patty Mac. And Patty Mac, will Patty Mac push forward? I mean, he's coming back home to defend. I don't know. I don't know if this is the right call.
It is definitely up in the air right now, Light, and I think both players are just gonna go back and stabilize.
Yeah, I mean, it's so difficult because actually looking at the vision, Patty Mac is aware of those two bases for Scrubbles, the northern bases. So he's feeling like the pressure to try and apply, like to try and be aggressive. Yeah.
Down to two bases, none of them are gold bases. The Mutalisks are here, but the Archon does try to chase them away. And do we have base trait 2, Electric Boogaloo Light?
Yep, we do. To the main army of Patty Mac is across the map, taking on those fresh bases.
Patty Mac still does have a recall available, but I don't know. It's hard to win a base trade when you're already low on bases. Scrubbles, though, is not going to actually go for that trade. Going to be going... Where are you going, Scrubbles?
Yes, Scrubbles is being a little bit indecisive. Scrubbles is going to lose both of these new bases. And what's hard is that he lost so many Mutalisks to those Archons earlier that there aren't that many here. Like, it isn't as scary as it was before. And yeah, Patty Mac is
the recall available.
Yeah, I don't even think he need. I mean, maybe he does need to, because Scrubbles, he's committed to this push. Yeah,
he is committed to the push, but now Scrubbles has finally decided he has had enough. Mutalisks are coming in, going to be trying to take out the Colossus, but the Lings are already gone. It is mostly just Mutalisk
recall.
Roach Good recall there by Patty Mac. Is it going to be enough? Scrubble's going to have to regroup once again, and I'm getting worried for Scrubbles. He is on such a low economy right now. He has more income and more workers, but not by that much.
Exactly. All those bases were taken down from Scrubbles. Now he's back to his main and his pocket, just like Patty Mac. His natural base is on fire, and he is trying to sneak out a ninja to the bottom right, though.
And the Mutalisk once again just going to be shredding the economy of Patty Mac, and if this keeps up, then it doesn't matter how many bases you're on. Patty Mac is just going to not be able to mine.
Yeah, Patty Mac doesn't have quite an army large enough to defend both mineral lines, and Scrubbles could get away with these ninjas. Oh, but immediately one of them gets spotted by Patty Mac, the northernmost one. Doesn't quite know about the bottom right one yet. We'll see if Patty Mac decides to push out and try and abuse or try and punish Scrubbles.
Well, yeah, we will have to see. It looks like Scrubbles has started to calm down. He's going to be focusing on making sure that his economy is stable before going in for another killing blow.
I mean, right now he's main-arting all these drones over to that hidden bottom right-hand base, and we'll see if that works out for him. Does lose a couple of Mutalisks there every single time he pokes in. The Stalkers are on top of it. They blink forward. They pick off like a couple of Mutas. And again, Patty Mac needs to take a base. If this goes on too long, then he's just going to get out macroed just because of the economy.
Yeah, he will. Do find this little area where there aren't a lot of stalkers. The Mutalisks can't take advantage, but here comes the blink.
Yeah,
he's really kind of trapped. But how's the DPS looking for Patty Mac? Not quite enough.
Yeah, solid catch out there, was able to shave off a couple of Mutalisks, and like he needs to just continue to do that. But now he's leaving his natural exposed.
That he is. And now Patty Mac, he's finally had enough. He knows that he's not going to have his economy back up, so he has to make do with whatever he's got.
Go for that
killing blow. Are they going to base trade again? No, they are not, but these Archons are being caught out. Good blink away, and I kind of favor Patty Mac right now, 100%. But at the same time, there's so many Mutalisks that just aren't in this fight.
Well, Patty Mac can just win this fight, and then he's going to move on and kill this base, and he could even go down to the main. But what's important is that Patty Mac still doesn't know about the bottom right base, and that's the base that matters.
That it is. Meanwhile, this Nexuses are being sniped. There will be no recall anytime at all for the rest of this game. Patty Mac has to kill Scrubbles, otherwise he's completely and 100% dead. I just realized what the upgrade count is looking like. Zero upgrades, Patty Mac on +1 weapons. Heck yeah.
It's gonna be such a shame because even if Patty Mac kills everything here in the bottom left corner, that like the game isn't gonna end, and he's gonna be like, oh, where's the remaining base? Like, where is it? He has no idea. As in the bottom right, Scrubbles is even throwing down his Spire. He understands that he's gonna lose everything in the bottom left, and he's reestablishing himself in the right. And Patty Mac still doesn't know.
This is going to go down to the final wire light, and I, for one, cannot wait. There aren't a lot of buildings left.
There aren't a lot of buildings left. Patty Mac, he still has a good amount, and it does take a long time for Mutalisks to kill buildings, but Patty Mac...
He's the only buildings. Now there's a simulator out for Patty Mac.
And
so
now...
the only thing...
Patty Mac, he finished clearing everything up in the bottom left, and now he doesn't know where to go. He has no idea where the rest of the bases are.
Oh, now he does.
He sees it. He sees the base.
Now he's seen it. Who's going to get there first? These Mutalisks still have to take out these buildings. It's a fairly short rush distance, but Patty Mac does have the head start. Who is going to win this base trade?
Yeah, the Mutalisks are going to clear everything up, and the gas geyser is... Okay, so Patty Mac is actually sending some units to protect the gas geyser in the top left. I don't know if there's enough stalkers here.
It's blocked by the debris. It's blocked by the debris.
He can't even get there.
Blocked by the debris. Patty Mac, you have to take the other way.
Oh, God. Oh, the Mutalisks aren't actually going for it. The Mutalisks are coming back to deal with the main army.
They're taking it out.
What?
There's another assimilator.
Oh, my God.
And that's what the Mutalisks are going for. This What an ending. This is why I love Dusk Towers, like.
Oh my god. Okay, the main hatchery is gonna go down in the bottom right, but the Mutalists, they found the guys.
Still fire. Who's gonna kill first? It is literally one building versus one building. 5-0, like 5-0.
Wow.
And what a way to. Oh, I cannot believe it.
Oh my god. GG. That was amazing. That was insane. That was. Those stalkers that went to the top of they were stuck for so long, and oh my god, that was crazy. That was crazy.
One building versus one building, like, that's what it came down to. It's wow. I am so happy. I said it's my favorite map, and it does not disappoint. This is. I'm speechless now, Light. I am speechless.
Oh my god, that was beautiful to see. Yeah, Patty Mac was just on the back foot for so long. Because the map is so big, it was hard to see where the final buildings were. But just GG, well played. There were just so many good moments. Like the hallucinated stalkers to chase off the Mutalists was such an amazing play. The base trades, we had like 3 base trades happen. Like 3 push outs.
We did!
Oh my god.
And then, this is what we'll have to send to the people.
Yeah, and so much came down to the wire. Like when that initial recall happened, where he left all the immortals on in Scrubble's base, and they just didn't kill that pocket as well. Like that economy helps Scrubble so much as well. Like there were so many things that if they had just gone the other way, Patty Mac definitely could have taken that. And hey, what a game! That's game of the year right there.
That it is. Sure, just doesn't disappoint. And like that, Single-Horny Ponies with a 5-0, I think they should be at the top of their group. We are now going to go into our next match, which unfortunately has quite a bit of walkovers as well.